All around the world, Unitarian Universalists of all ages light chalices when they gather together. With this ritual, Unitarian Universalists are connected to one another, even though they may never meet each other. Now, we light the chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. Our chalice lighting words today come from Reverend Alice Anacheka Naisman. We light our chalice to honor the web of all life. We honor the sun and earth that brings life to us. We honor the plants and creatures of land, water, and air that nourish us. We honor each other, gathered here to share the wonder of our world.
Hi, Miss Kathleen here, along with our friend. He's a mouse. He's called our UU buddy. And we're going to tell you a story called If You Give a Mouse a Cookie.
My favorite story. I love cookies and milk.
If You Give a Mouse a Cookie by Laura Numeroff, illustrated by Felicia Bond.
If you give a mouse a cookie, he's going to ask for a glass of milk.
When you give him milk, he'll probably ask you for a straw. When he's finished, he'll ask for a napkin. Then he'll want to look in a mirror to make sure he doesn't have a milk mustache. When he looks into the mirror, he might notice his hair needs a trim. So he'll probably ask for a pair of nail scissors. When he's finished giving himself a trim, he'll want a broom to sweep up. He'll start sweeping. He might get carried away and sweep every room in the house. He may even end up washing the floors as well. When he's done, he'll probably want to take a nap. You'll have to fix up a little box for him with a blanket and a pillow. He'll crawl in, make himself comfortable, and fluff the pillow a few times. He'll probably ask you to read him a story. So you'll read to him from one of your books, and he'll ask to see all the pictures. When he looks at the pictures, he'll get so excited he'll want to draw one of his own. He'll ask for papers and crayons. He'll draw a picture. When the picture is finished, he'll want to sign his name. With a pen. Then he'll want to hang his picture on your refrigerator, which means he'll need Scotch tape. He'll hang up his drawing and stand back to look at it. Looking at the refrigerator will remind him that he's thirsty. So he'll ask for a glass of milk. And chances are, if he asks for a glass of milk, he's going to want a cookie to go with it. And that is the end of our story.
Oh, I really need a cookie.
How about if we do some yoga and meditation with Trussa instead? It's all about cookies. Well, that sounds like fun.
Good morning, children. Today we're going to explore meditation. You're probably wondering, what is meditation? Well, it is quieting yourself enough to hear the universe speak to you. It's feeling the love and the peace that you are. But after you've practiced meditation for a while, you'll have your own ideas about what it is, and they will be just as true. So come into easy pose and give yourself a nice straight spine. Imagine a golden cord of energy coming out of the top of your head up into the heavens. You can put your hands on your knees and focus on your breathing. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. Just gently focus on your breathing, and I will tell you a meditative story about Farid, and it's called The Real Cookie. Many years ago, in a land far away, there was a boy named Farid. Everyone agreed that he was a very special boy. Very bright, very kind, and with the wisdom beyond his years. His mother, being very wise herself, decided on a plan to help Farid have the experience of meditation. She set up a little mat in the backyard under a large tree. Under the mat, she put a cookie. Then she went to Farid and said, "My dear son, our Creator is very sweet and gives sweets to those who meditate." Farid smiled at his mother mischievously and answered, "In how much time, mother?" To which she replied, "In about 1/2 hour." So laughing, he sat down, straightened his spine, closed his eyes, and began meditating within himself and the Creator of all. This went on for a while, perhaps a month or so. Every day the same. Farid would sit on his mat under the big tree. He would meditate for half an hour. Then he would open his eyes, lift up the mat, and find the sweet cookie waiting for him there. One day, Farid's mother was making dinner in the house when she realized Farid had been meditating for more than his usual half hour. She looked out of the window to see him sitting quite still under the tree. Deciding that he must have forgotten about the time, she ran over to him, calling, "Farid, Farid, your meditation time is over." But he did not move. She touched him softly so as not to disturb his meditation rudely, but he still did not move. He sat totally still with a very slight smile on his face. If his mother had not been so concerned for him, she might have noticed a soft and peaceful glow surrounding him. Instead, she began to shake him and speaking much more loudly, saying, wake up, Farid." At this, Farid slowly opened his eyes, and his smile grew wider. He seemed to have grown as wise as a sage, and to have as much love in his heart as a saint. In just that short time of meditation, his mother was feeling very confused about what had happened. "Farid, are you all right? Here, have your cookie. Have you forgotten to eat it?" With love shining from his eyes, Farid replied, "You may have this cookie if you like, mother. Today I got the real cookie. And mother, it was so sweet." And that is the end of my story. Now, Farid was a real person. He grew up to be a well-known Sufi saint. And perhaps you would like to try having a cookie under your mat when you meditate. Let us end with the Satnam. Truth is my identity. Satnam. Thank you for participating in my meditation and listening to my story. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Hi, today we're going to be making cookies, chocolate chip cookies to be precise. And that's to tie in with our story of the mouse and the cookie, or the cookie and the mouse that Kathleen had read. I also want to talk quickly about the seventh principle, UU principle, which talks about or demonstrates connectedness. If you think about it, a recipe demonstrates connectedness. And it also, in a recipe, if you leave an ingredient out or a step out, it could change the final result. It could change the recipe. So eventually the final result of the cookie. So yes, whilst you're devouring your cookies at the end of today, just have a think about that seventh principle. Okay, 2 ingredients, right. Okay, so here we have 1 cup of all-purpose flour. We need some, half a teaspoon of baking soda. We need 3/4 cups of white granulated sugar. We're going to be using 1 egg and 12 tablespoons of unsalted butter. And to add a little pizzazz, sorry to go away from the screen, we'll have 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and obviously with chocolate chip cookies we will have chocolate chips. Wonderful. Okay, let's see what we have to do next. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is to add to the cup of all-purpose flour, we're going to add half a teaspoon of baking soda and half a teaspoon of salt. And we're going to mix that all together. See, lovely. Then we set aside our flour for a second or two while we look at our butter and our sugar. We're going to mix the 2 together and then make it into a little paste. So we've been mixing the butter and the sugar for about 4 minutes now, until you basically can't see any more sugar, and you can sort of fold it around like that, and it's light and fluffy. There we go. And I think that sort of helps to make the cookie much softer as you mix it up. But yes, the eventual cooking of the cookie will be much softer and melt in your mouth, hopefully. Now we're going to add 1 egg to our fluffy sugar buttery mix. Give that a stir. And we're going to add our vanilla extract, so 1 teaspoon, or half a teaspoon, sorry. I'll put the recipe on afterwards so that you can see all the ingredients and exactly how much you're supposed to have. So we're going to mix in the vanilla. And then we're just going to add our sugary, buttery, vanilla and egg to our flour. As you can see there, look, it's very light and fluffy. See that? And we're now going to add that to the flour. I just not mind going to wash up today. We don't have a dishwasher. I think it is, yeah. Right, that is all of our egg and butter and sugar and vanilla in with the flour. Now the final ingredient to add as we stir our butter and sugar are the chocolate chips. So in they go. So I don't know if you can see this, but we've got chocolate chips, we've got egg, and we've got flour and sugar all being mixed up together to make our cookie dough, the final ingredient. So after we've made the cookie dough, I'll be back. Okay, so once the mixture is into a cookie dough, you want to roll up kind of like an inch in diameter balls, and apparently they're supposed to be an inch apart so that they've got space to cook. So I'm going to quickly chuck these into my pan, and while I'm doing that, just need to give you the heat of the oven. It should be 375 Fahrenheit, and that for 12 to 15 minutes. Now, just for speed, I am kind of making these cookies a bit big. So, yes, feel welcome to make your dough balls smaller so that you've got more cookie to go around, because there's only 3 of us, although I did promise Kathleen something like. There we go, we're almost done with our mixture. And I'll show you the balls, the final balls at the end. Okay? And there you have it. There's our dough balls in the pan, an inch apart, ready to go in the oven. So I'll see you in about 15 minutes when our cookies should be ready. And here we are. Here are our finished cookies. I'm going to give it a bite. Not bad at all. Maybe not a burnt tongue though. A wet till they've cooled down. Okay, enjoy your cookies.
We've got the whole world in our hands. 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 We've got the rivers and the oceans in our hands. We've got the rivers and the oceans in our hands. We've got the rivers and the oceans in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. We've got the whales and the dolphins in our hands. We've got the whales and the dolphins in our hands. We've got the whales and the dolphins in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. We've got the trees and the flowers in our hands. We've got the trees and the flowers in our hands. We've got the trees and the flowers in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. We've got our brothers and our sisters in our hands. We've got our brothers and our sisters In our hands, we've got our brothers and our sisters. In our hands, we've got the whole world in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. Our closing words today are by Cynthia Landrum. We leave this gathered community, but we don't leave our connection, our concerns, our care for each other. Our service to each other, to the world, and to our faith continues. Until we are together again, friends, be strong, be well, be true, be loving.